to The Marina Show. I am Marina, hence The Marina Show. I want you guys to send me personal letters and tell me if you think I'm good enough to be Oprah. Just send it to my personal mailbox. Can't give that information out on television, but let me know. Add me on Facebook.
I was just going to say, you can find her on Facebook.
And Marina Gurgis. Okay. Point being, I am with my bestie in the Westie and the Fresty, Lesty, Bestie. I love you with all my soul. Gina Shanuda. Hi. Audience claps. Hello, Gina.
Hi, Marina.
Did you miss me since the last show?
Tremendously.
Oh my gosh, you're so cute. Speaking of missing me, audience, viewers, my heart and soul is leaving me in just a few months. 1 month? A few months.
Yeah, a couple.
She, being a talented, feminist, young woman, Coptic, smart, brilliant, is heading down the Atlantic Ocean. Is that the ocean?
Yeah, that's the right ocean.
She's crossing the Atlantic Ocean. She's going to England for law school. A lot of Coptic youth are traveling this path to go to England, which is far away from us, because if you don't know, we're in Canada, you know what I'm saying? Commonwealth, but across the Atlantic. Okay? Gina's going to the British Commonwealth. I don't know anything about geography. She's going to England. She's going to the University of Nottingham for law school. Mabruk ya Gina.
Thanks.
Is that Aib? Should I not have said that on national television?
That's okay. We're going to make sure to cut that part out.
She's going away for school. Okay. Gina, congratulations.
Thank you.
So we're just going to talk about today about what it's like to go away. What are the challenges? What are the good parts? What should you be scared of? What should you prepare for? Gina's on her way to go out, to leave the country, but she's a resource to talk about because she was a daring, bold young Egyptian woman that traveled to the oceans of Vancouver, British Columbia. We live in Ontario. Is this a geography show, Gina?
I don't know, but you got to work on that one because that's the Pacific Ocean.
Oh, my bad. The Pacific Ocean, you know, she went west. We live in the east. How many hours away was it?
5.
5 by plane, 1,000 billion by car. Okay, so Gina, I just want to
And Marina visited me there last year.
Did you have fun when I came?
No comment. We had a ton of fun.
She was the best host ever.
We got to see different sides of each other for sure.
Yes, it's always different when you hang out with a friend.
But actually, that's a very good segue into what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, so Gina, when I came to visit you, you didn't...
I was different.
You were different. You were different.
I was different.
Let's talk about that.
Sure. Well, I come from a very conservative family, which most Egyptian families are. But mine had what I like to call a much shorter leash on our children. My parents did. Actually, I don't even know if there was a leash really between.
It was just a hand.
It was kind of like cuffs. Anyhow, so I was very sheltered. My outings would go as far as youth group Fridays, and sometimes that would be a stretch. They'd be like, why? I'm going there. Anyhow, I still love you, parents. Nadia, Joe, love you.
Love you too.
And so yeah, it was hard for my parents to accept, obviously, that I go far away. But they came to terms with it, and I came to terms with it. But I came to terms with it a lot later than when they came to terms with it, because you know you go through the shock. You don't realize everything's just still new and fresh and fun and exciting, and you don't know what you're really doing. You're forgetting that this is the part of your life where you're supposed to grow, and this is the part of your life that is important to you as an individual. And you forget that because you're spending so much time being immature about it, or I did at least. And I got to, and I forsaked my spiritual life for a bit because no one held me accountable. I didn't even hold myself accountable. And the minute I got that freedom, I decided to go buck wild with it, in the sense of not like in the partying sense, because at the end of the day, I still couldn't do much. I didn't know much. But I mean in the sense of like trying to discover who I am. I was just so hard trying to fit, because it was a new place for me. So I was trying to find a belonging. I forgot how lucky I was to live in a community where I belonged. Like I had friends here, I had my community, I had my church, I had groups that I belonged to.
You had a sense of identity.
Exactly. I knew where I was, but there I felt like I had to do that all over again. But I didn't, and I didn't realize that. until much later on, as I was saying, because I got there and I decided to join everything and anything, even if I wasn't interested in it. I decided I should try it. And that's where I lost myself, because I forgot where my roots were. I forgot what made me me. And it took a few friendships in the way, in the sense that I didn't lose any friendships here, because me and Marina stayed together in the entire time.
Thank God. Nushkur Rabbina.
But it was a hard time. Not for us per se, actually. That worked out well,
Yes.
surprisingly. But in other parts of my life, discovering who I am. And I realized how much I actually do miss my family. I ran away from them, but as soon as I finished, I came right back, right? And that's where God wanted me. I didn't think he did. I was being very stubborn. I thought he wanted me to stay there. And I fought against him, but he closed every door.
So when I went, you had just finished your 4 years in Vancouver in BC, and you were looking for a job in BC.
I was, because I thought that's it. Because I thought it was my calling there. I felt I fit in very well. I finally got a hang of things, and I thought, oh, this is where I belong. We started a Bible study every Thursdays. I was becoming a Sunday school teacher.
Yeah, well,
Like, I thought, like, this is where God wanted me, right? But little do we know is that you have to search deep inside. It's not about the things outside that are around you. It's not the community itself, but it's within yourself. You have to listen to God's voice. And it comes, when God wants you to see his will, it is amazing. This year, well, because I just came out of that year out of Vancouver, has been a very trying year for me. I've seen a lot, but at the end, if I knew where I would be right now, I would have taken that plane from Vancouver to Toronto in a heartbeat. But I didn't know where I was going to stand right now. So that was a reward in itself. When God decides to show you his work, that's great. But yeah, I remember that time, me and Marina ended up writing a resume for me because we wanted a job.
I got to Vancouver and Gina was just like, she was just so not herself. Like, there's just something off. And like, the people that can tell you who you are your best friends, the people that know you best. I got off the plane, literally, I picked up my luggage. I went to go see her, be like, Gina! And at that moment, that's when I knew she was different. There was something off about her. And I feel like we become like that when we're resisting something from God and we're not on the same page as him. And we want what we want, and we just disregard what he wants for us.
And you make excuses, right? Like, I was like, no, he still wants me here. I'm doing Sunday school now. It's like, no, that's just me forcing myself to believe that, right?
And so I get to her apartment, it's like this, it's in a very expensive area downtown, so it's very small. And I'm just like, Gina, what are you doing? She's like, this is my home now. I'm like, are you sure? She's like, yeah, I want to find a job here. I almost felt like you wanted to prove yourself in Vancouver.
I did. I was trying so hard to show that I'm a strong woman. I didn't want to come back. My biggest fear, and that's where I really fell short, is that my biggest fear was I was worried to come back and everyone's going to see me the same. And I wanted to come back to show everyone I was different. I was strong, I was independent, and that I can make it on my own. I wanted to prove that to my family. I wanted to prove that to my friends. I wanted to come back with proof. And it wasn't enough that I just graduated with a degree. That wasn't all. I wanted to make something of myself. But I didn't realize that I already did make something of myself within. And
I definitely see that, Gina.
Well,
when you said strong, independent, I'm like, honey, you are all of those things.
But you don't see that within yourself, right? That takes a lot of time. And until now, I'll deny it to this day. I'm not those things. But I did a resume a day, cover letter a day for 2 months. So that's 60 resumes, 60 cover letters, and none of them. And I went to the point where I didn't even acknowledge my degree. I was going to go as far as being a waitress. I mean, waitressing isn't a bad job. I did it myself, but I'm just saying, after you have a degree from a university, you go back to doing that. I was just so shocked, but I went to that point, and even restaurants wouldn't hire me. Not being a waitress, a hostess for the mostest.
And she'd call me crying, and I'd be like, Gina, maybe this is God's will. Maybe this is God's will. And
2 months of stubbornness.
She's like, no, I'm going to find a job here. And I was like, all right, let's look for a job. Because friends will stick by you.
They'll
look
support
for a job,
you even though you're digging your own grave.
Anyways, so you looked for a job. Then what was the telling piece? Like, what happened? When did you decide I need to get home?
I don't know, because up to the day of I booked my ticket thinking that I was only going to come for a week or two to see my mom. Because my mom wasn't feeling that well.
Another sign, do you think?
Maybe, but like, she's also a weak spot for me, you know? Your parents, they know how to guilt trip you. They're so good at it. I was convinced, like I left so much of my clothes there, my favorite clothes, like my Lululemon pants. I mean, like that's a saying, okay? Especially coming from BC.
Oh my goodness.
Anyways, I came and then I ended up staying. And I fought it for so long. That entire summer, I was not fun to be around. I complained all the time. And then the year began, and I went through some more trials there.
Do you mind telling the show what happened?
What happened?
Do you mind telling us what those trials were?
What were they? Okay, sure. Well, we started off by, I went back to working at a job that I did out of high school, which wasn't helpful for my ego, especially in my dad's point of view. And
we are going to find out the trials and tribulations faced by Gina Shnuda next time on The Marina Show.